Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to Section 3 of the Wellspring Understanding Your Long-Term Disability Benefits webinar. If you are just joining us at this point, our previous sections outline the LTD process and the contract details you need to know about. In the last session, we introduced the professionals who will be involved with your LTD claim and provided you with some advice for working cooperatively with the insurer. This section is all about the middle part of the LTD claim, the staying on LTD phase. We will introduce several professionals who might be connected to your LTD claim. As well, we will have a couple of key questions that LTD recipients typically have, and we will review the main expectations of the insurer as you continue to receive long-term disability benefits. So, let's get started. As an employee who is receiving LTD benefits, you will usually have some direct contact with a claims specialist who is managing your claim with the insurance company on a day-to-day basis. There could be times when you might have contact with more than one claims specialist, such as when there is vacation or staff turnover. However, behind the scenes, there are several other professionals who might be involved with your case. This section will cover in greater detail the roles and responsibilities of these professionals and how they play a part in your journey to start, stay on, or exit LTD benefits. The claims specialist. Your main contact with the insurance company will be with the claims specialist, who can also be known as a claims manager or case manager. Their role is to adjudicate a claim for LTD and ensure ongoing eligibility. Your contact with the claims specialist will either be by phone or written communication. They will want to build a rapport so they become familiar with you, your treatment, and how you are progressing. They will also provide you with relevant information to help you understand the LTD process, convey expectations on how and when communication will be maintained, and about your ongoing eligibility. You will not be required to go to their office or attend face-to-face appointments with the claims specialist. In fact, depending on your location, the claims specialist may not even be working in the same city that you live in. The primary function of the claims specialist is to ensure the employee continues to medically qualify for long-term disability. They will request and collect any and all medical evidence to confirm that you are too disabled to work. As long as you continue to meet the terms of the contract as set by the insurance company, you will continue to receive your LTD payment. The claims specialist will gather all medical evidence from any physician or health professional that you might be receiving treatment from. They may gather the information directly or request that you gather the needed information and submit. Along with gathering information, the claims specialist could consult directly with the health professionals by contacting them to discuss your case and gain information about your condition. The other important responsibility of the claims specialist is to calculate your payment based on the terms of the policy and to ensure your ongoing payment. Lastly, the claims specialist will play a significant role in helping you to return to work, which will be discussed further in the next couple of sections. The consulting physician. One of the professionals that a claims specialist can consult with about your case is a consulting physician. This person is a medical advisor who works for the insurance company and is a resource for the claims specialist to turn to help understand complex cases or interpret medical findings. The consulting physician might provide information to the claims specialist, like the regular or typical treatment path for someone with a cancer diagnosis like yours. They may give insight into how other health concerns could be impacted by the cancer treatments. They might clarify any limitations you have and how those limitations could impact your ability to do everyday activities, as well as complications and expectations that can occur during treatment. Many of the consulting physicians are specialists in the fields of oncology, psychiatry, and internal medicine, so they are very familiar with the latest information and treatments for your illness. This consultation of your claims specialist with the consulting physician will happen behind the scenes. You will not be privy to the discussions or reports prepared by the consulting physician, as this resource expert is strictly for the claims specialist. In fact, about 50% of LTD cases have a review or consultation between the claims specialist and the consulting physician. The consulting physician may also consult directly with your treating physician. There are a couple of reasons why this doctor-to-doctor consult might happen. Your physician might not be submitting the necessary reports in a timely fashion. The submitted reports might not contain enough information for the claims specialist to determine if you are still eligible, or the information received doesn't reveal enough about your limitations and abilities. Additionally, your doctor might not be objective in the information they are providing, or could be providing unrealistic recommendations about your return to work. Any information that comes from those consultations will be shared back to the claims specialist and used to determine next steps, like ongoing eligibility for LTD benefits or preparing to start a return to work. The independent medical examiner. There are times that the insurer may not have enough medical information to determine how sick an employee is, or would like the employee to see another physician for a second opinion. This person is called an independent medical examiner, or IME. The IME is a physician who will review the case and give an opinion of the medical situation to the insurer. This physician would be hired and paid by the insurance company, and there should not be any out-of-pocket costs to see this IME. Typically, LTD recipients wonder two things. Do I have to see this physician? And how independent are they? Regarding the first, do I have to see this physician? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is that the insurer will only ask if it is mentioned in the contract that the insurer might rely on independent medical advice to help clarify the situation, and you will need to comply with the request as a condition of receiving ongoing benefits. So yes, you must attend if asked. However, you can also state any needs or accommodations you may have in order to attend, such as any transportation costs for reimbursement by the insurer, that physical accommodations be granted, and that someone come with you to help you during the time of the appointment. It will be up to you to clarify any concerns or needs you have. The other question you might have, is this independent medical examiner truly independent, since they are being hired and paid for their time by the insurer? Well, the physician isn't hired to side with either you or the insurer, but is hired to take a fresh and neutral review of the situation and provide information that is lacking. The IME has a job to do and will be acting professionally. The IME will investigate your abilities and limitations, your mental health, how you are responding to treatments, and how ready you might be for returning to work. Sometimes the medical exam might last for an hour, sometimes much longer. The examiner will have any relevant notes and reports that the insurer has sent in advance in order to be informed about your situation and be prepared to meet with you. Your job is to just tell the facts, answer the questions, focus on details, give lots of examples to help illustrate how your cancer journey is impacting your abilities and the limitations you have. Be sure to focus on the physical symptoms as well as your emotional ones. Talk about how things have changed over time. If your health is impacted in other ways, like difficulty sleeping, fatigue, brain fog, other health problems, be sure to give those details too. The IME will review your case, meet with you, and then prepare a summary report that goes back to the insurer. This report is not usually shared with you, but if you would like to know the outcome and recommendations of the report, you can ask the insurer if you can be given a copy. The Vocational Rehabilitation Professional. Another key professional who could become involved with your case is a vocational rehabilitation professional. The responsibilities of this person are to help identify and reduce barriers while building on your strengths and abilities to return to work, whether that is your previous job, a modified job, or a new job. Voc Rehab professionals have training and experience in understanding disabilities and strategies for helping a person return to work as soon and as able as possible. They are knowledgeable about workplace accommodations and building work plans that involve ramping up motivation and creating goals for returning. They have experience in evaluating job duties, evaluating work environments, and the functions necessary to complete the essential elements of that job. Voc Rehab professionals have backgrounds in OT, kinesiology, physiotherapy, and vocational rehabilitation management. The majority of Voc Rehab professionals are consultants who are hired by the insurer, but they could also be an employee of the insurance company. Their responsibility is to learn all about your job, your present health situation, and how your health and limitations fit within the duties of your job. They will also want to learn more about your motivation to return to work, how you are coping with your cancer treatments and recovery, and how you feel about your job and employer. Your interaction with the Voc Rehab professional will be in person and could also be over the telephone or through email. They typically want to meet with you directly, usually at your home. They will also want to connect with your employer to learn more about the workplace, the duties of your job, and the key responsibilities that you perform when you are working. From there, the Voc Rehab professional will create a return-to-work plan, one that builds on your skills and abilities, but takes into account your barriers and restrictions. The return plan will be clear and specific, and the Voc Rehab professional will want to ensure that both parties, you and your employer, know the plan and the work tasks you will be performing when you return. The Voc Rehab professional will be reporting regularly to the insurer how the return plan is developing and how you are responding to the activities. These reports and updates are not usually shared with you, but you can ask your insurer for a copy if you are interested. In the next couple of sections, we will address in greater detail the return strategy. Your doctor. Your physician is the person who knows the most about your health, your treatments, and you as a person. The insurer will be very eager to receive updates and progress reports from your physician on a regular basis. As was mentioned earlier, your physician has one key responsibility: report the facts of your treatment, future treatments, other health problems, and how you are coping. The insurer will also want to know more about your prognosis and if you are fully complying with all treatment options. And lastly, your physician will be asked about your abilities and readiness to return to work, commenting on any barriers that might stand in your way from performing your job. As you can see, the insurer relies on your physician or physicians as part of the picture, but other professionals play a role in helping with getting you ready to go back to work. Physician input is important to the insurer, but it may not be taken as the final word. We will explore this situation in greater detail in the next couple of sections. Your employer. When you first leave work, it is your choice as to whether you want to keep in contact with your employer. Research has found that most people do keep some contact with their employer, and many employees have shared their cancer diagnosis and treatment updates with colleagues or supervisors, and that employers do try to maintain contact with employees who are away from work due to an illness. But it is not a requirement that you stay in touch with your employer or that you disclose any health information. You do not have to keep in contact, and you do not have to disclose that you have cancer. This is entirely your decision. It is also important to note that the insurer cannot share with your employer any specific health information. The only things an insurer can share with an employer is your expected timelines for being off work and returning, and the limitations or barriers that you have. Your employer plays a key role in helping you with returning to work. More will be discussed later, but your employer helps the insurer or Voc Rehab professional to understand your job duties, what supports and accommodations could be offered to help you do your job, how the workplace functions, and offers practical advice and solutions to help facilitate a successful return. When working with clients at Wellspring, we get a lot of questions and concerns about LTD. So let's talk about the top 5 questions that typically arise. Question 1. Can I volunteer when I'm on long-term disability? That is actually a complex question, and it has a couple of angles. We know that volunteering is good for our well-being, and it keeps us busy and engaged in the world. Many people volunteered before cancer and want to keep doing what they love. Others who are on a cancer journey may be feeling isolated from others, miss being busy a bit, or want to give back. The insurer might look at your volunteer work in 2 ways, and it is important to be mindful of this. Volunteering can be viewed as the first step of you regaining your health and starting to participate in the world. You might be using some of the skills that you use when you're working, and you might be volunteering in a small way, say only a couple of hours a week, because that's all you're able to do at this time. Your volunteering could be seen as a signal to the insurer that you are feeling better, you have more capacity, and that you're ready to take the early step towards getting ready to return to work. Question 2. Can I leave the province or Canada? We let our members know that if you plan to leave the country, it might be best to advise your insurer. It is important to be aware that your insurer will want to know where you are going, why, and for how long. Are you planning to visit family and have a respite? Are you pursuing treatment in another country? If you are away, are you following your treatment path as recommended by your treating physician? These are the questions the insurer will have, and depending on your situation, the insurer will decide if your payment needs to be suspended, continued, or if you are actually better and it might be time to consider preparing to return to work. Question 3. Why is the insurer contacting me more frequently? There could be a couple of reasons. The first is that you might be nearing the point where the definition of disability is changing, usually at the 2-year mark, from too sick to perform your own position to too sick to perform any position to which you are reasonably qualified, and the insurer wants to gather medical evidence to learn more. It might be that your treatment is ending and the insurer needs information to know more about your health at this time. It could be that the insurer didn't have much contact when you were in active treatment, but treatment is ending, so they need updates more frequently. No matter the reason, the bottom line is that the insurer is taking a closer look at your case and gathering more information. That information will help you to either remain on LTD benefits or indicate that it is time to consider moving toward ramping up for work. Question 4 has to do with home visits. Do I have to let the Voc Rehab professional come to my home? We covered previously that the claims specialist works out of the office and won't visit. Other professionals involved with your case, such as the independent medical examiner, consulting physician, or functional abilities evaluator, are all very unlikely to come to your home. The Voc Rehab professional, however, will want to get to know you and get a sense of your abilities and limitations in a place that is comfortable for you, your home. They know you're not feeling fully able, so coming to you makes your life easier, and they may also not have an office if they are a consultant. But they aren't there to look at your furniture, trying to see how clean your house is, or expecting you to cook for them. So, should you let them come to your home? Well, they're trying to make life easier for you and not cause stress. If you really don't want them in your home, then yes, bring that up and give them some other suggestions, such as a community center or coffee shop, and see what they say. The last question, and likely the question everyone wants to ask, can my LTD benefits be suspended or terminated? The short answer is yes, but there is a much longer answer. It comes down to meeting the terms of the contract and continuing to be unable to work as confirmed by the insurer. This is the short answer because we will drill down much more on this topic in the next couple of sections. Hold on, definitely more to come on this very important question. I would like at this point to just give a high-level summary of what the insurer will expect from you as a recipient of the LTD benefit. If the insurer asks for information, whether that is a report from your physician or other health professional, or possibly an update from yourself, then submit it. If something in your life changes, you move, you get sicker, or you are getting better, or even something basic like your payment wasn't deposited, then it is your responsibility to let the insurer know. Even information about how you are doing, when your next treatment starts, or upcoming test dates, you can let them know. The claims specialist will note this in your file, and it helps keep a clear path of communication. The insurer expects you to follow your doctor's orders. If you are to have treatments or surgery, the insurer is expecting you to complete those. If for some reason you don't want to follow the treatment advice of your physician, like deciding you want to stop chemo or you need a longer break between chemo and radiation, then the insurer would like you to tell them that. Basically, follow the path as recommended by your physician or tell them what is happening. And the last expectation is to do anything in your power to follow treatment and recover as soon as possible, whether that is going to physio, seeing a psychologist or counselor, taking up exercise or yoga, getting your sleep pattern back in order, or focusing on healthy eating, whatever is helping to restore your health so you can move toward returning to work. We know the insurer has expectations of you as well as a contract to follow. In return for meeting their expectations, the insurer will pay you when you are too sick to work while meeting the terms of the contract, and the insurer will provide supports and assistance to help you to return to work. It's almost that simple, even though it seems so complex. We will spend more time in the next sections going over the process of returning to work. As we near the end of Section 3, we go back to our case Nora, who is now on LTD benefits and following her treatment plan. The insurer is keeping in contact with Nora on a regular basis, talking to her and asking for updated reports from her physician. We know that the claims specialist is talking to Nora about much more than just her treatments. How is Nora coping? What other struggles is she having? Is she seeing any other professionals? How is she keeping busy when she is feeling well? Is Nora doing some of the housework or other chores she used to do prior to her cancer? Does she get out to see friends and family? How is Nora sleeping? Is Nora getting any exercise or trying to stay active in any way she is able to? How is Nora's overall mindset? Those are the kinds of details the claims specialist will be probing when she's talking to Nora. And of course, the claims specialist may be gently mentioning work, helping Nora keep in mind that the goal is to return to work as soon as she has the ability. At this point in the LTD case, everything seems very typical and there aren't any challenges. All good news for Nora, who will just continue to focus on her treatment and recovery. That brings us to the end of Section 3. We covered a lot of content in this section. We discussed the various professionals that might be involved with your LTD claim and what they will expect of you. We shared the top 5 important questions that arise during a claim, and we discussed the expectations of the insurer. Join us for Section 4 of Understanding Your LTD, where we'll share some information with you about the process of transitioning back to work. See you soon!